Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike. And real quick, I wanted to give you guys kind of an introduction as to what's going on here before we actually get into what this video is all about. In total, this whole commentary ended up being about 40 minutes. So I decided to split it up into two parts. You know, I don't expect anybody to sit down and listen to me. And I actually brought WoodysGamertag in to discuss a lot of this stuff with me. So I think that was another reason it ended up being so long. But I didn't want you guys to sit down for 40 minutes, you know, and watch this video. So I split it up into two parts. Okay, what you're watching right now is part one. And you can see on the screen right now, there's kind of a timeline or an outline of things that I discuss. If you want to fast forward to one of those topics there, feel free, go ahead and do that. In part one here, we talk about my story, you know, how I got into commentating. We talk about this thing called the best rivalry on YouTube, which if you're a new subscriber to me, you really missed out. I really suggest you go back and check out some of these videos. It was a lot of fun doing that stuff, but it was kind of a I don't know really how to explain it. You guys will have to listen to it later in the commentary. We asked the question, you know, should I become a commentator, which is something anybody that's thinking about getting into this scene should ask themselves. And the last part of part one is Woody's story. He talks about how he got into the scene and kind of his reasoning behind wanting to become a part of this community. After that, part two is going to come up, and you can kind of see right there a couple of things that we talk about in part two. One other thing that I don't talk about in this video, and unfortunately I just forgot about it, I am going to allow you guys to post video responses to this video. The only catch is, look, it has to be a commentary, okay? I'm not looking for just gameplay. I'm looking to support fellow commentators, okay? So if you talk over your gameplay, if you're addressing an audience, you know, if I can hear your voice over the video, I'm going to approve it, okay? It can be any type of game either, also, I guess. It doesn't have to be a first-person shooter. It doesn't have to be Call of Duty. I mean, it can be Super Mario Brothers. But if you're commentating, if you're talking, because that's what this series of videos is all about, you know, becoming a commentator, not becoming a montage editor or just a beast player. You know, this is about commentating. So if you post up a video response, I'm going to allow it. And, you know, it's just a little way I can maybe help some of you up-and-coming guys. So hope you guys enjoy. And after part one, whenever you get a chance to check out part two, go ahead and do that. I'll catch up with you guys later. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike. Most of you know of me as Onslaught. That's my Xbox Live gamer tag. And today is kind of just a heart-to-heart, another one of these videos. I know I've been doing a lot of these. Not a lot. I've been doing a few of these here recently where I don't really talk about gameplay and talk more about my kind of personal opinions, experience, and thoughts. And I hope you guys don't mind this. I enjoy doing this. And but today's special, I have a guest with me. Who do I have with me?
WoodysGamertag.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Heart to heart, Mike. This is,
Yeah,
I didn't realize we were going to be so close.
Yeah, man, you know we're that close. Come on.
All right, I'm in.
But once again, I mean, everybody has seen the stuff that's been happening with the community the past couple of weeks, as far as Hutch and his response video and all the response videos to his video. And there's just been a lot of the community has almost kind of came together, you know, to discuss its opinions about the community and kind of where it's going. And this led me to thinking about, I've kind of touched on it here and there, how I kind of got into the commentary, I guess, scene, but I've never really gone into great detail. So I figured now would be a good time for me to do that, kind of tell you guys my story, you know, as much as I remember of it. And also kind of give any up-and-coming commentators, kind of give you some tips and tricks and things that I've done that have helped my channel grow. And then if you're not a commentator but maybe thinking about it, jumping into it as Black Ops is coming out or something, I'm going to give you kind of some things you need to be wary of, some things that you would actually need to start up a channel, and it may help you kind of decide if this is really something you're interested in. So
let's do it.
All right, and Woody just kind of he kind of came on last minute. All right, Woody and I had been talking to Woody about this, and he saw my video that I put up Wednesday where I mentioned this video, and because Woody has played, if you've been with me from the beginning, you know Woody's kind of been a big part of my channel. Okay, so all right, so let's get started with the whole story of me. All right, so I've been doing this for about 6 months now. I got started kind of late, I guess, not as late as some, but I've been doing this for, what is that, about 6 months maybe. And what happened was my brother, he was into the whole YouTube scene, and he did this thing. It's gonna sound gay, but he did this poetry, Modern Warfare 2 poetry. Do you remember what I'm talking about, Wood?
Absolutely, man. I used to go to that site all the time and check it for updates. Like, I loved his Modern Warfare 2 poetry.
No, so he would put together these little, like, I don't know, what were they, like 6-line poems. They were just crazy. Like, we would game. At this time, I didn't know anything about the YouTube scene, and you'll see here in a minute that it's kind of bad. But we would play every night, and then the next day he would post up these little poems about events from the previous night. So it would be a poem about getting new-tubed all night and then actually winning a game or just something stupid. But anyway,
And
go ahead.
so I would do these channel updates on my own channel. And because I, like, as a subscriber, when I see people's channel updates, I know that these videos probably going to suck. So sometimes I'd write poetry and just do my whole channel update in rhyme. And someone said, hey, you should check out this webpage. There's all this Modern Warfare 2 poetry. You might like it. And I did. Yeah,
See,
that was cool.
that's crazy. All right, so at this, and this is probably gonna be a long video, so I might go ahead and warn you guys. I don't know how long it's gonna be, and a couple other things real quick before we get into it. And I should have done this at the beginning. This is bad setup on my part, but the gameplay, I don't know what it is. Woody doesn't know what it is. I'm going to find gameplay that fits the length of this video, so we're obviously not going to be talking about that. And the second thing, I apologize, is my mic sounds funny. It's because my mic recently broke, so I hope it's, I hope you can stand the quality of my voice during this this little commentary. Okay, so the poetry. Back to the poetry. So Woody posted a comment on my brother's poetry channel kind of thing, whatever it was.
I think I posted a poem.
Like a poem response, kind of?
I said, do you accept, fanboy poems? And he's like, yeah. So then I wrote one.
Okay, so, and at the time, the only people that were reading these poems were, my brother and I and a couple of the friends that would play together. And he told me that Woody posted it, and I was like, so what? I mean, I don't know who Woody's gamer tag is. He was like, dude, he's kind of a big deal. How many subscribers do you think you had in April? 60,
in April?
Do you think you had maybe 40, 50,000?
Not yet, I don't think. I'm going to guess something like 25.
But at the time, you were kind of an up-and-coming, getting pretty big. You were pretty known in the community at that point.
Right. Yeah, I was in the crowd.
Yeah, so my brother told me about Woody's gamer tag. So I went to YouTube, and this is gonna sound bad. I did not even have a YouTube account. Okay, I didn't have like a login name or anything. I just went to YouTube, searched up Woody's gamer tag, and it just so happened the video that he had put up that day was a game battles video, or asking to for players that are interested in playing on a game battles team with him, and he was looking for tryouts. So I couldn't respond to the video because I didn't have an account, so I just emailed him. I think you had your email or something in the description of the video or something like that. But so I responded to him, ended up playing with him that night, and we kind of clicked. I remember you asking at the end of the night, because there were a few talented players that were playing, but I had been communicating a lot, and I remember at the end of the night you had asked who was it that was making call outs and stuff, and it was me, and then I started playing with you guys every night from there on out.
Yeah, that's right. There were a couple of guys in those tryouts who were really good at sprinting around the map and getting like 40 kills. But Onslaught really stood out because he was really good at telling the whole team what was going on and locking them in, and he just became this captain on his first day, and it really made him stand out.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was looking to, at that point, Modern Warfare 2 was kind of getting, a little, I don't know. Yeah, a little same old, same old. So I was looking to get a little more competitive because I had played competitively, with Halo and stuff. So I was looking to kind of bring that to the Call of Duty stuff. So I played with you guys for a couple months, and it was I was such a noob. We played against Hutch the second night we played, and I told my brother, and he was like, dude, you're lying. You're not for real. And I was like, really? Is he somebody I should know? And he was like, I know that's going to sound bad, but I honestly did not know who Hutch was. I didn't have the slightest idea. And so then I searched Hutch, and I ended up making a YouTube account and got into all this stuff. And after about a month playing, I kind of, and being around all these kind of commentators, because I had played with Wings, even though Wings and I didn't really get off on the right foot in the beginning there. I was starting to be around these commentators, and it just seemed like, it was a good way to expand the hobby of gaming. It's a good way to have a dialogue with the community that plays the games that I love to play. So I talked to Woody a little bit about starting up a channel, and just kind of got in it from there. So obviously Woody, he was obviously a big part in that, but I brought things to the table that were kind of different and kind of unique. And I think that is one of the keys, especially for an up-and-coming commentator. And I know you guys have heard this from a lot of different people, but you need something kind of different. If you don't have that amazing personality, you need kind of a niche. You need something that not a lot of people are doing, or something that you do extremely well to kind of make you kind of shine in this vast sea of commentators. And for me, it was kind of the analysis stuff, the breakdown stuff. At the same time, T-Mart and I were kind of coming up in our commentary careers, I guess you could say, and we were doing that. We were only the two people really doing it. I know Saspin, you guys have heard of him. He did a lot of this stuff, but it was kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it was to the level. And Woody, you may be able to touch on this a little more because you actually told me about Saspin and the videos that he was doing. And I honestly had no idea that people had done, you know, what T-Mart and I were doing.
Yeah, you guys all had, like, the three of you were unique in that you brought more production quality to your videos than I think anyone had before. Saspin did a little different. He had sort of these like stock footages. Like he'd put fake people in windows and say, "Here's a line of sight. This is when I round this corner. This is what I look for." T-Mart had these flyovers, which are really cool. And you tended to freeze frame and color code and show arrows and stuff like that. So y'all had your own style, but all of you brought production value. And I copy it in a video here and there, but I'm just a cheap copy.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, and at the time with me getting, that was something that kind of set me apart. Like I said, not a lot of people are doing it, and it was something that a lot of people caught on to, and I did it in a way that was understandable. So I mean, it was pretty simple in the editing. in editing, I mean, it was just color overlays, that highlighted what I was talking about, but. It kind of hit home with a lot of people, and a lot of people looking for tips and tricks. It was really beneficial to them. So I guess in short, kind of the route that I took to get to where I am at the moment was the first thing was I got in with a group. Okay, and I think this is really hard to do, and I was really lucky and fortunate that I was able to get into this group with Woody, Wings, and Kyle and all those guys, and it just kind of happened by fate, kind of. So if there is a way, you could do that, that's obviously a really good way, but the way is not to really go out after big commentators and try to get to play with them. Like I said, I got into this not as a commentator, but as a gamer is how I kind of got into their group.
Yeah, there's two things I'm calling out here. One is, Onslaught got in the group largely because he's a god of gaming at a time when we were doing Game Battles tryouts. So, like the door was open and it was open for a guy like him. The other thing, and he's mentioned, you don't just latch on to a big commentator. As your channel grows, you become more and more cautious about people kind of using you, only wanting to know you because you have a lot of subs. And, that you'd be better off, like, let's say you have a channel with no subs. You'd be better off talking to a guy who has 5,000 or less. And, he might not have a network that's full. His door for friends might not be closed at the moment. If you're trying to land Hutch as your first friend, good luck, man. Good luck. Like Hutch in particular is a guy who's really sensitive about people using him. Yeah. And I think that that's normal for a guy in his spot. Scene Anders is too. And then people just get less and less sensitive as you work your way down the ladder because they're happy to meet somebody new. They're not overwhelmed with hundreds of please do a dual com with me every day.
Yeah, exactly. And being part of that, getting in with their group, Woody and I, another big thing was the kind of duel that we had. So that obviously wasn't intentional as far as the.
But it was awesome.
It was great. And that, once again, that was just kind of like a freak accident that really worked out in my favor. So, I mean, Woody was posting videos kind of about me before I was even, my channel had even gotten started, He
had like 100 subs, I think. And
and I had like an intro video that was like, it said Onslaught, and like that was it. Like,
so what would happen is so you have a lot of subs that you haven't been on your channel since the dual time. And so Onslaught's a better player than me, right? That much is kind of known. And but we do these free-for-alls, and for a long time, this is when Mosh Pit existed. So there'd be 6 guy teams, and free-for-all would rotate. So while we were playing as a team, every now and then we play against each other. So Onslaught won, I'll say, the first 4 or 5 games. And we started criticizing him for camping. And he said, what, I'm going to run across the middle like you baby buffalo? And that's when I had this epiphany. I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? He's right. I need to stop, running around. I need to start getting some kill streaks. It's the key to winning these games. And yeah, so I won one. And as I won one, I think I killed Onslaught maybe Mike twice. And each time I called him out, and I did this thing where I was like, who's your daddy? And then I was like, oh, right, there's something I meant to tell you. I was 13 years old. I met your mother. We didn't care what society thought.
It really wasn't a funny joke, would it?
I am your dad. Oh, yeah. That joke can't be beat. So, and so, like I went on, and I really committed to this like 30 seconds thing of how I'm his dad. And then, he came back, I think, and he had a commentary where he talked about me. And then I broke into song.
Music.
And that's when,
that opened it wide open.
That's when it went big time. I think I did Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer, but it was Woody the Slayer. And, yeah. Goodness. Your daddy and you're in my crosshair. Whoa, Woody's a slayer.
All right,
So
they remember. They remember.
yeah, no
I'll
more of
actually
that.
link. I'll link the first video, I guess, in the description of how all this started. And there's a trail through all these videos that link you to the future videos, so you'll be able to. If you're not familiar with what kind of happened there, it's pretty funny,
Oh,
pretty comical. T-Mart actually got into it and started. He did a country song that was crazy.
his
I
was
did.
really good.
I did like some type of like rap response. I don't know. It was bad, but it was a lot of fun. But that whole chain of events, helped my channel grow. It was kind of a freak accident. Not It's not an accident. Oh, I guess it was an accident. It wasn't really intentional, but it really helped my channel grow. Okay. So first thing, as far as my commentary career, was getting in with the group. Second thing I did was kind of find the niche that I mentioned earlier, kind of something different. And the third thing I think that has really helped me kind of stay in the scene is the fact that I'm evolving. Okay. And this is something that you see Woody do a lot, you see Wings do a lot. All of like the top big guys, they do this. They see how the community responds to things and they change up their game. So in the beginning, all I was doing was, these analytical kind of breakdown videos. But I got into this thing where our team communication stuff was so much fun to listen to after our games. I started doing this thing where I recorded my communication and I sync that up. So that was another type of video style that I don't think a lot of people, if anybody, had done kind of before I started doing it. You could hear my communication and my teammates' communication. So I started like evolving. My style of commentary changed and kind of it grew. So I think that's something that's helped kind of bring in new subscribers and keep my subscriber count where it is. You
Yep.
know?
And the other thing, so like what I did is when I look up at at the channels that are higher than mine, like I first started watching, say, Hutch and Scene Anners and Beyond because I wanted their gameplay analysis. That was all I wanted. Their little tips like, before Modern Warfare 2, your secondary was always a pistol. And if they saw a gun in the ground, they'd switch, grab an AK, and now they have two good guns. And I was like, pure genius. So those were the reasons I watched them at first. And then after a while, you get connected to the actual person.
Yeah.
And in my own channel, I've sort of worked on that transition myself a little bit too. I originally only talked about gameplay and what made me successful and what mistakes I would make in the game. And now the channel's evolved to connecting with the subs on a more personal level in addition to gameplay stuff. And so if you're starting a new channel though, that you probably need to know your subs don't care about you. If they don't like you, they don't know you. You're nobody to them. So it starts off with something that you can offer them, and then in 6 months later, maybe it transitions to being not just what you can offer them, but something about you too.
Yeah. So that's it. Real quick, just to highlight one more time how I got into this. Get in with a group. Okay, find a niche in the scene. Something that you enjoy, and then evolve. Change over time as your channel's growing. So that was kind of the route that I took. So now the big question, what probably a lot of you are actually here to I guess listen about, is should you become a commentator? Okay, and if you're already a commentator, this could be to you too. So what is the real interest in becoming a commentator? Okay, is it money? Is it the fact that maybe you want to become a larger part or a more influential part of the community? That's kind of the route that I got into this through. I wanted to have a dialogue with people who played the games that I enjoyed playing. Do you want recognition? Are you just all about fame and being somebody that people know by name? Or maybe you just enjoy talking. Maybe you enjoy the sound of your voice. Maybe you enjoy just communicating or editing. So there's a number of different reasons that you would get into commentating, but kind of think about that. If you haven't started a channel, think about what are you going to bring to the table? What is it? Maybe your knowledge of the game? Are you really talented? Can you offer tactics, or can you just provide beastly gameplay? Is it entertainment? Personality, comedy? I mean, there's a wide range of different things that you can do. But I think that's one of the keys. If you're on the table out whether you want to start a channel, figure out really what you want to do and what the end goal is. What you want out of it. Any comment, Wood? Pretty much said it all, huh?
Yeah, I think you said it all. I think I've mentioned a couple times on my own channel, the reason that I got into YouTube commentating was I wanted to know the other YouTube commentators. I looked up to them, and while I left nice comments on nearly every video, and I always click the like button for them, I didn't think that was really going to be enough to help me make friends with XCal, which I still haven't done really. But that was sort of why I started my YouTube channel. It was like, all right, if I want to be a part of this community, even the notion that there was a community was kind of eye opening to me. But if I wanted to be in that circle of Beyond, Sea Nanners, Hutch, and Schemer, and some guys maybe you haven't heard of. I wanted to sort of know them, and I thought my route to doing that was to have my own channel and be in the club. That's why I did.
Yeah, exactly. And that's probably the route that that most of you are kind of taking or looking at taking, because my route was kind of unique, but I know a lot of people look up to commentators. They want to be around them. They like their personality. They're really interested in gaming with them and getting to know them. So that's probably a similar route that a lot of up and coming commentators are taking. So. But in the end, I guess just, you want to make sure you're having fun. If you're not having fun with what you're doing or you're not enjoying it, it's going to show up in your commentaries, And I think, I guess I can talk a little bit about Wings. There was a point during his channel, and he was, I don't really know how to say,